Okay, good evening, members. It's just hit 11 o'clock Queensland time. Sorry for the late talk, but I've had the biggest day probably I've had for a very, very long time. And I just want to apologise for today. I had some serious issues with the data and the server, hence why sadly I couldn't navigate, and I pretty much told everybody to just to take it easy, and because I wasn't sure what happened. We were missing a whole heap of data from Australia and New Zealand, and I basically manually had to oversee every single sheet that went through, because there was data that was mixed in with other data. It was just a complete mess, and it's just hit 11 o'clock, and I'm still working away trying to get data out for tomorrow. Just so everybody knows that there's a lot of work that goes into these sheets, and a lot of time that goes into these sheets. These sheets are not created just automatically. We're going to get to that point where they will be generated, but every single sheet that goes out, okay, I look at and I oversee. And what happened today is that when I sent out the message, I said, look, they're just raw sheets, which all the raw sheets means is that they haven't had myself personally. I'm the only one that can send out these sheets. All right, I've got another one guy who does Darwin on his own, but every other sheet you see in Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Africa, I'm the only one that can approve them. I basically put the rubber stamp on them, and that's what takes me hours upon hours upon hours. So the other guy that's with me, himself and I, we had to today basically rearrange the whole sheets. It's a long story, but and that's why I did send out a message, especially for the New Zealand and all that. I wasn't confident. When I say I wasn't confident, I always get a bit worried when I don't have the enough time to go over everything, and it just means that I like to play it a little bit safe. Now, also, I did also say in the messages that, look, there's nothing wrong with the sheets, but they haven't been given the final tick of approval, because I had to spend so much of my time, and I'm still doing it. As again, it's 11 o'clock and I'm still going over it. I had to fix up a whole heap of things manually. Now, my programmer at the moment, he's away on holidays, so it was a big lesson for me today, because I actually learnt how to do a whole heap of things. But I just want to I don't want to go on and harp on about certain things, but today collectively, had you started betting from New Zealand all the way through to Hong Kong, you probably collectively would have won about 130 units today. Now, that's unrecorded bets. I don't know any tipping service in Australia, probably the world, that doesn't record wins like we do. Now, I know that I did say, look, I wasn't confident and I wasn't sure. I always like to play things safe. I'd always like to talk things down. I don't have an issue with the sheets, but again, it was more me just being a little bit hesitant, because I had to frantically send out these sheets. And when I say frantically, trust me, it was frantic, especially in New Zealand. So it was a crying shame what happened today. And then to sit there and watch these sheets perform the way they performed, that's not a surprise for me at all. It's far from a surprise. I know what the sheets can do, and I repeatedly say that. But I just want to also say in this talk again, sometimes, members, you have to take the initiative yourself, and you've got to say to yourself, all right, look, read what the message said. Now, there's two things you could have done today. You could have literally just walked away from the meetings, or you could have dabbled. Now, in a lot of my messages, I did say there was nothing wrong with the sheets. It was just that it was raw data, and you could see there was no writing, there was nothing on there. I personally type everything myself, and that's me going over the data. I couldn't do that today. all right, and everything was sent out quickly, as opposed to I like to take, each sheet usually takes me about 3-4 hours. Because obviously I have to watch the videos, I do trials, which I already do. I've got trials that I back up, from days and weeks ago. I'm so far ahead of the days, as again, today's Saturday, and I'm really looking at form for Tuesday and Wednesday. I do the trials, and I do that's why you see, I've done trials. But sometimes you've got to show you a little bit of initiative, and I'm trying to teach this to everybody, and I keep saying it, members, you don't need me. There are days I can only give you a guide to what I think. All right. Now, I'm not saying today, you should have bet and you would have won 120 units. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I want everybody to see the power of these sheets and what they can do, and the fact that here at Winning Edge, we're not recording winning bets. And that's because we're transparent. We're not like other tipping services. We're not trying to sell you as a gimmick. We're not trying to tell you stuff that, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's not what we're about. Myself personally, I've said this before, and I'll repeat myself, it's not what I'm about, all right? I've been where everybody is at the moment. I'm a punter first and foremost. That's what I am. I'm a full-time professional punter, all right? And the fact that today I missed out on a large win, because if I hadn't done what I did today, then no one would have got any sheets. There would have been nothing sent out. The fact that we sent out sheets was a minor miracle, trust me. I'm not that very clued up on these things, but I had to teach myself how to fix things today. All right. What actually happened too, we were missing New Zealand data and Australian data. I think it was the crossover between the years. Anyway, it's just a long story. But again, this talk is not to here to say, oh, you should have won 120 units. It was merely to say, okay, that you could see what these sheets can do. And sometimes, when I do send out the sheets and I do write in a message, look, I'm not navigating, I'm not monitoring, have a look at yourself. The fearless guys are the ones that win. A fearless punter, guys that don't bet scared, are the ones that are winning money. If you're sitting there and waiting for me sometimes, all right, it's not always the best thing. All right, yesterday was great. I navigated most of the day, and everybody saw how I navigated, and everyone saw how crafty I could be, how I manipulate prices. I want to teach you all that. In time, I want to teach you all that. All right, but the only way to learn, just like I learned, you got to start plunging in yourself. You got to get into that ocean. You got to get into the deep water, and you've got to go in there yourself. All right, again, if you'd walked away today from the sheets, no issue, no problem. But we can go over the sheets and I can show you, but that would just bore you to tears, because I don't want to go over. I've to be honest, I'm darted out today. But Pinjarra today recorded I think it was a 4-unit loss all up. Everything that won there today was basically the favourite. We had a couple of nice wins on there. But other than that, it was a lost sheet. So Flemington was Flemington at the moment, the Melbourne Victorian metro meetings at the moment, they're not super strong. Like I keep saying, the intelligence in the market at the moment, it's pretty spot on. They're getting most of these runners. The sheet itself today, it wasn't terrible. But what happened with the sheet today, again, it was a couple of races that we couldn't get price had you been betting. And, again, you saw what the sheets did. There was a couple of winners on the sheet, I think. But had you been betting today, I think you probably would have been down about 7 units tops. So, this is where you need to also be, when I say the word crafty, you need to look at the sheets and go, right, what's doing well? That's why the multiple sheets are sent. They're not sent for you to sit there and bet on everything. You got to work out yourself. That's what, again, you got to be crafty. You got to use your brains. You got to be switched on. You got to go, right, what track's not doing well at the moment? Well, Flemington, we had a look at 2 or 3 races. Let's just bin it. This is all hypothetical as well. I'm just giving you what you could have done, and that's it, and why you could have won so many units today. You know what I mean? And you could see today that at Flemington, it wasn't the best. There were a lot of these favourites. You can see here, look, this thing here, we had it on the sheet. Again, we can't get price. And that's what also is beating you. This thing was rated at $13. They backed it into 9-1. So you couldn't get price on that. This thing was the favourite. And then the last race, I think the sheet had the winner. So that was it. If you'd bet there today, it wouldn't have been a disaster. but it wouldn't have been great. All right. And that sheet there recorded a loss of like, I think 7 units or 8 units. Sha Tin was really good today for the international guys. All right, I think there was 11 races there. I think there was probably 2 or 3 pass races, but the sheet themselves, they got 5 off I think the 9 betting races, and they would have won probably in excess of about, I think, 7 or 8 units. All right, a lot of the favourites do win there. You know, it was the thing with Sha Tin to the international guys. We all know it's Moreira or Purton. Whenever they get up on, if Moreira and Purton ride 3 or 4 winners during the program, you know it's not going to be the best thing. And all that happened today at Sha Tin was, look, the first winner $1.75, you know, Moreira. The second winner, whatever it was Ho. I think we had that right now. That played 360, and then after that we started getting these big price winners. We had number 5. We had this winner here. So, yeah, there was a lot of winners in and out. But then it just always reverts back to the Moreira and Purton show. You know, so that sheet alone there, we had this winner here. You know, there's just winners just coming up. We didn't have that winner there. Then we had the next winner. All right, that paid well. And then I think this winner here. I think we had this winner. No, $2.70. There's Moreira again. I think we had race 10 winner. Yep. And then obviously another Moreira. So this sheet, he performed exactly how I thought it was. It was a shame because I had a couple of looks, but my head was not in it. I've been rattled all day, been trying to do data and trying to fix things up, and I personally said, look guys, I can't give you the time right now. And I did send some messages during the meeting saying, look, just because I've aborted doesn't mean you abort. I just can't give you the time. And, you know, and bet away. Please bet away, because the sheet started coming back pretty good. And then we had a look at Flemington. We've had a look at Flemington. It was a lost day. And then Riverton in New Zealand, that won 5 units. There was winners splattered all over the place. All right. To the international members, New Zealand, and just for the Australian guys that don't have the international package. Guys, the international package at the moment is dead set braining them. Last night at South Africa, we won, I think, 25 units. The night before, we won 20 units. The sheets today, it was unfortunate today with New Zealand, because New Zealand was the one place jurisdiction today that I was actually missing data, and I was very hesitant. You know, I sent out a message to say, look, sit back. It's probably best to sit it out. But if you want to bet, all right, just bet according to the rules. All right, and had you bet according to the rules in New Zealand today, I promise you all, you would have won 60, maybe 70 units. Now, you think about it, 70 units of unrecorded bets. Again, I don't know any tipping service in Australia, let alone the world, that would not record 70 units. But again, in saying that, I probably would have sort of made people a little bit hesitant in betting, because I did say, look, you know, I'm missing a lot of data. This is just raw sheets. You know, bet like that. But, you know, if you need to sometimes take the initiative yourself. All right. I'm always going to try to play it safe for everybody, because the last thing I want everybody is to lose money. But the Riverton sheet was probably the worst sheet out of the New Zealand sheets. That only won 5 units. But the ELLERSLIE sheet today, I kid you not, that won about 35 units all up, had you just follow the rules. Now, I did send a message about these New Zealand sheets. You know, again, I did say, look, bet according to the rules. You know, unfortunately, I couldn't, blah, 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 blah. We all know what happened. But I kid you not, it won 35 units. Probably more, because my bot records New South Wales tab. But the winning edge, we obviously record off Best SP. There were some massive winners there today. Okay, massive winners. So it was probably more than 35 units if you were going off Best SP. All right. You know, it was just unbelievable. It was just winner after winner after winner. All right. And then there was this Hastings track itself. This sheet won 25 units. This sheet got every single winner on the program. There were 6 betting races. There was 1 pass race, and everything after that was 5 from 5. And it dead set brained them. But that's not a surprise to me. And that's what I'm trying to say to the Australian guys who are a little bit down at the moment, because they're not getting, you know, the wins, you know, and it's been a little bit down here and there. Again, it's not that we're down. I used the wrong word here. It's that we're not getting priced. The only thing that beats these sheets is either we don't get matched and we have to drop runners if we're taking on our own data, and secondly is we're getting beaten by favourites. You know, if I have to repeatedly say this, if favourites win, we're never going to win. We are not here to take favourites. All right, it's the last thing that I do. I don't want favourites. Sometimes, you know, there are a lot of horses that I have in there that are 350, but they don't. You all guys should know by now, they don't interest us. They certainly don't interest me personally. You know, I mean, I think this was a past race, but this look. I mean, look at this. We didn't have that race there, I think, but everything there today won. You know, 832. There was a couple of really big price winners there. I'm just going for it. Look at this thing here. We only had 3 picks in this race, and this thing paid $22. Like, are you serious? $22. All right. Again, all right. I don't want to make out as if that we, you know, I asked you to bet and now I'm going over it. No, I want you to see what these sheets can do. All right. This is what this talks about. All right, this sheet's what these should, and again, you know, I wasn't gobsmacked that this was happening. I know what these sheets can do, and there's another winner there, you know, and these were all horses that were rated, you know, pretty low, and they all won. Okay, so you know, we had Mornington, the Mornington sheet today, that recorded I think 20. I'll just have a quick look at it. I'm just looking at my bot. Sorry, bear with me for a minute. Yeah, the Mornington sheet alone, that did really, really well. And this track's traditionally, it's not an overly strong track. Now, this track alone said it recorded that it won 11 units. So there's, you know, let's add the New Zealand stuff. Okay, for the international guys, there's 65 units there. Okay, and then we start to get into the Australian meetings, and this track recorded like 11 units, and it was a fairly good day. Murray Bridge absolutely killed them. I think this sheet won. I'll just have a quick look. Again, I'm referring to my bot, and like again, when I don't navigate and when I'm not recording, my bot is in a simulated mode. Okay, and it doesn't cheat. It's set to the rules. Now again, if you'd followed the rules today, if you just purely followed the rules at Murray Bridge today, you were up 23 units. So you're up 10 units at Mornington, you're up 23 units at Murray Bridge. All right, you know, you do the mathematics, because you know, and you're up again. Here's Canterbury today. The Canterbury track won. Had you followed the rules, there was a couple of really big winners there. Now, this particular track said it recorded a 10-unit win. Again, these are my recordings on my bot, and my bot only picks up New South Wales TAB. Now, at Winning Edge, we record everything off Best SP, so it's obviously going to be paying way more than that. So, you know, Ipswich alone, I think that one, I'll just have a quick look, that brained them as well. So, you know, it's just an unfortunate, and again, members, we're seeing, yeah, this sheet here recorded a 17-unit win. So have a look. We've got Murray Bridge, we've got Mornington. Australia alone's probably won about 80, about 60 units, not 80, about 60 units. You know, that's recording off my system. So, you know, again, you know, and I say this honestly to everybody. I'm not trying to you know, after the fact or that. These sheets are sent to you guys before. There was messages that were going through there. I don't know what it is. Sometimes with me, I think I might be a little bit cursed, because it's just the days I needed to record are getting the big wins, and the other days when I am recording, I seem to not be getting it. But you know, please guys, be fearless. All right. Just because you had 1 week or 2 weeks of 20-30 unit losses, we get it back so fast. Like, when I say fast, like very, very fast. You know, I don't try to hide the fact that there are days where I'm not feeling it, and there are days where I might say, look, I'm not feeling it today, I don't want to do it. But that doesn't mean that you guys don't have to bet. All right, you know, out of all the days today, I had to have one day where you know, the system wasn't playing the game that I needed to play. But you know, like I said in some of my messages, nothing wrong with the sheet. It was just I couldn't look at the data. You know, it was just raw data. So, you know, and again, all right, if someone out there can please find me a tipping service, just one that hasn't recorded over probably about 250 units of wins, can they please contact me, because I'd love to join them. And if they have a set of rules that that can enable us to win 250 units, I'm more than happy. People don't win 250 units in 2 years, let alone in probably about 2 weeks. Now, if you throw in the losses up against the wins, you're probably up about 150 units still. Like I said, if we were to record what happened today, I think you'd be quite shocked, because it's there to be seen. It's not like we're hiding it, but it's just one of those things that happened today, and I sincerely apologise. I have been, I'm going to try to, as best I can over the next 2 or 3 weeks, navigate as much as I possibly can, because I think the navigation is probably good for everybody, because they can see how I move and how I sort of manipulate prices when I need to, and how to navigate around the sheets. And I don't make a secret of the fact that these sheets, you do have to be switched on. You've got to have the right tools in front of you, and you've got to make sure that you're on the ball, especially with prices. Again, I write it on my sheets all the time, and I say, you're not the only one that's betting on these sheets. So you need to be quick, you need to be fast, especially on these country meetings. Today I would say more metro meetings, but a lot of these country meetings on a Monday, Tuesday, you're going to have to bet 10, 15 minutes early, and you're going to have to watch what the markets are doing. All right, we're coming up to a couple of really nice meetings coming up, especially on the Gold Coast and stuff like that. So, hopefully we can, start seeing these big wins coming through. Now, just on what happened today, again, it's 11:30 at night now, and I'm still working away trying to get all this fixed. So I'm hoping tomorrow I don't have the same problem. Again, I'm doing this manually, and I have to oversee every sheet. No sheet, and I stress this again, no sheet gets sent out, all right, unless I view it and I approve it and I go through it all. And when I say I go through it all, I go through every sheet, and I type out pretty much every sheet. So today you saw there was no typing, there was no comments. That's all the only issue with today was, probably. And again, I wasn't confident because of the fact was it was raw data. So, members, it's going to be a big year. Please stick with us. I assure everybody, and I'll keep saying this. This Winning Edge betting syndicate, it's the best out there. Okay, I'm so confident that everybody can win if they just follow what I say. But again, please, all right, I know it sounds repetitive, and that's what I like doing. I like to repeat, so then you can get it into you. Show some initiative, all right? Go on your own. Sometimes betting on your own is the best way to learn. Having me over you all the time is not always the best thing. And another thing too, recording of bets is great. The best way, what the recording of bets is, your own betting bank. Okay, we're never going to agree on certain races. I might have got price, you might not have got price, but it's your own betting bank is your best recording of the system, not anything else. Okay, members, and Happy New Year as well.